Okay, is that so Plexus has started to provide us with business coaches. And so it was so exciting when they introduced that. And so after my first call with Dave, you really don't know what to expect. Everybody after their first call were so excited. And so I'm super excited to have him share with you guys tonight. This is such an exciting time in Plexus. And one of the things, I don't know if you guys saw, I think my mom posted this, but she tagged me in it, it was kind of from church, and then my mom and I talking, this thing came about is, I'm going to find it on my Facebook so I read it right. Okay. Everyone wants to be an overcomer, but few actually will overcome when it comes down to it, because overcoming requires work. So I just want to challenge you guys as we go into this call is to remember that this business it's not always easy. It's simple. It's not always easy, but that it does take work. Overcoming is one of the biggest qualities that you will find of the people that succeed in this business. Overcoming when you don't feel like it. Overcoming when, hold on, you guys, I'm going to mute people.
Thank you.
Okay, Dave, you'll have to unmute yourself when it's your turn. Okay, there we go. Now I can hear myself much better. Okay, so overcoming things, because when we think about our goals and our dreams, something's a goal, something's a dream. It does not become a reality until we put the pedal to the metal. And when we hit those bumps, what are we going to do with them? So I just want to encourage you guys, just know that no matter what position people are, that we all hit those bumps. We all hit those roadblocks, those speed bumps. It's just what you do with it. After you hit that bump, that's what really matters. So I'm just so excited to have Dave on. As I was first talking to him and just talking about, you guys all know that I love to dream big and dream kind of ridiculously big, and people are, the big, hairy, audacious goal. And so it was fun sharing with him because he's a big dreamer as well. And so I know he's going to share about himself, but I love that he dreams big. One of the other things that we have in common is that he loves his mom. He's learned so much from her. And so as I was talking about my mom, he shared about he has a little girl named Aurora. Is that right? I knew I would eventually remember that. I would call her Ariel and everything else. There she is. So I know he's going to share more about himself, but you guys prepare. I want you to prepare, take notes, type, write as fast as you can. I know we'll all be able to compile those. Take notes, put stars by things that really stand out to you as he talks, and just be prepared to be inspired, but he's also going to give you guys some great practical tips. So I'm so excited to have Dave Walker on our call to inspire and hold on to, hold on to your bootstraps. I think that's what the name of the call is, because this team, you guys, we are on fire, and this is going to ignite us even more. So let's turn it over to Dave Walker.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much, Kimber, for the very nice introduction. I'm privileged and blessed to be here. And thank you for joining us. Like she said, my name's Dave. I'm a field development coach, a business coach at the corporate office. I've been with Plexus a year to the day. Here in a couple days, I will be celebrating my 1 year. So really exciting time for me, and by far the best thing professionally that's ever happened to me. So I couldn't be more thankful. I'm originally from Nebraska. How many Cornhuskers we got in here tonight? What? Yeah, go Big Red. Love everybody else. Go Big Red for my Huskers. I moved out here about 5 years ago. I was ready to be done scraping ice off my windows, and I wanted to play golf on Christmas Day. So I made the leap, but I still have a lot of family back there, and I get back all the time. A little background about me. Professionally speaking, I spent about 10 years in leadership development, management, and training in the hospitality industry. And after those 10 years where I had missed 10 Mother's Days, 10 Valentine's Days, 10 Christmas Eves, all those, major holidays that I was away from my friends and family, I decided to go in another direction professionally. So I started career coaching. And what that translates to is that I would connect with people and coach them on their path to their dream job, whether that meant in a resume, the interview process, their follow-up procedure. And then as we approach the end of that coaching, I would call the company that you wanted to work for and say, I have the perfect person for your job, and I would sell them that person. It really blossomed into a business coaching role for me, which is what I'm doing now. Again, so blessed professionally to be with a team in an organization like Plexus. So I'm so excited to be here. Those of you that have maybe visited the office or met me before, that it's tough for me to sit in this chair for 30 minutes. I'm a wiry, fired up individual. So if I could, I would just walk around with my computer because that's really where my best thinking comes, so on and so forth. But I'm so excited to be here. Thank you to our leaders, Kimber, Shannon, and Amanda, for hosting the call. Truly a blessing. So thank you. So the first thing I want to write down, and I'm going to touch on a few different things tonight, and something that I'm super incredibly passionate about. And part of that is because of the push to develop in this manner within our organization is personal development. I truly believe that as we, as humans, as business owners, develop ourselves personally, that opens our eyes to the areas of opportunity within our business. So the first thing I want you to write down is, who is your hero? I'm not going to make anybody share this, share what they write down or anything of that nature, but I want you to write down who is your hero and 2 to 3 characteristics that individual has. And so, like Kimber mentioned, my mom is without a doubt my hero. I can't imagine anyone else going higher up on the list. And her 2 to 3 characteristics would be selfless, hilarious, and transparent. And so, I just want you to write down who your hero is and 2 to 3 characteristics. Okay. Excuse me. So next, like that, as I join an organization like Plexus and I connect with, what I, feel comfortable to say friends like Kimber and Shannon and Amanda, as I connect with these individuals, I ask myself, what makes people want to follow a leader? Some reluctantly, some passionately to the end of the earth, right? I know I've had jobs where if my boss was to say, hey, I'm leaving, I'm going to this other company, I would say, okay, when should I give my notice? Because I want to go with you. I've also had the boss that I thought to myself, I do not want to work with at this place anymore because of this individual. So what's the difference? What's the difference there? And the answer is character. I bring that up because what initially sparked my passion with Plexus was character. It was the character of the individuals that run our company. So Alec, our president, Tarl, our CEO, the entire executive team, the sales team, all the way down to the ambassador relations center, folks that are handling the customer service related issues for you guys, their character is second to none. So who has heard we are one Plexus, right? Right, pretty common thing, right? We're one Plexus, right? So in my experience, from a corporate standpoint, it's one thing to write down who you are as a company and hand it out to people and say, here's who we are. It's another thing to live it, and it starts at the top, right? You can't have a company that believes we're one Plexus and then have a CEO or a president that walks around all high and mighty. So I share with people a quick story, about Alec, our president, who will come to my desk, talk business with me, talk golf with me, talk about our kids. I taught him how to tie a bow tie before he went to convention last year. Like, he authentically treats me like his equal. Our executive team has 100+ years of not just experience, but phenomenally successful experience in many different business formats. And so it's very humbling and really awesome to be treated like an equal by someone, like this. So unlike most people, and I'm sure a lot of you, your passion stemmed initially either from the leader or the person that introduced you to this, or from your own experience with the product. So mine was character first, product second. So just to touch on the product, I've been on the multi-omega, the X Factor, and the probiotic for 9 months, give or take a few days, on an everyday basis. I like to describe these products as 13 servings of fruits and vegetables, right? It's not something that I can just do on Saturday, something I got to do every day. It's also, for somebody that eats clean and is, drinks lots of water and so on and so forth, I may not have noticed the overnight difference like my 30 days. But now that I'm 6, 8, 9 months into this, it's a phenomenal world of a difference for me. So I'm really thankful. I was a skeptic about Slim. I have to be honest, skeptic about Slim. And so as I'm partnering with some of our jewels, I had a sapphire that said, wait, you're not on the Slim. We did a little role play. And they're like, wait, you're not on the Slim? And I was like, no, if I lost 10 pounds, I'll blow away in the wind. Like, I'm not up against any medical conditions. I don't need it. And that was my response. I don't need it. And she's like, you have no idea what you're talking about. You're at the corporate office. They got buckets of Slim all over the place. You can have it for free. I can't believe you're not on this product. So we're setting some goals for her for the next 90 days. And she said, I tell you what, I'll commit to that if you commit to 90 days of Slim. Today is day 29. Okay. My skepticism is gone. I wasn't up against a medical condition. I felt as though I didn't need it. I eat healthy. I'm in the gym. I drink lots of water. I did not need the product. I feel 18 again. I'm attacking the soccer field like I'm a 18-year-old kid. My body reminds me the next day that I'm definitely not an 18-year-old kid, but the Slim has made an amazing difference for me in 29 days. So I just like to tell people that because I want us to share with people Dave's story. My friend Dave from the corporate office didn't think he needed it either, because people are going to say that, right? I don't need that, right? People are going to say that to you. So I want you to just say, listen, make a 60-day commitment to giving this product a try, because the healthiest of people, or the people who think that they're very healthy, they will benefit from this product. So, product. Okay. So back to character. Okay. Character's more than talk. Anyone can say that they have integrity, but action is the true indicator of character. Okay. So the next thing I just want you to write down, or remain conscious of this over the next 21, 30 days, all of March, you can put a limit on it, is to let your actions be that of your hero's character, right? You wrote down your hero. I want your actions to reflect your hero's character over these next 30, 60, 90 days, the rest of 2017, run with it. Character brings lasting success. Okay, the reason that these leaders are in front of us today, the reason that I'm blessed to partner with them, is because of their character. When Kimber talked about pushing through attrition, or fighting through the hiccups, or pushing through that, like, that is character. It couldn't have been a more perfect time for her to share that type of information, because I'm going to come in and talk about character. What she's talking about is character. Okay. Character brings lasting success. That's why these leaders have lasted for the length at which they have here within our business model. Okay. True leadership involves others, and involves all of you. That's why you're here too. I don't know how many we got on tonight. Right now we got maybe 30 or 35. So, that's why you're here too. A wise man once told me, if you think you're leading and no one's following, you're just taking a walk. Okay. I'd get behind these leaders that we got here. So the next thing I want you to write down is 2 ways that you could work as a team this week. 2 ways you could work as a team this week. There's no wrong answers. Maybe it's to host a sip and see. Maybe it's one of my favorites is to find an accountability partner. Find somebody who you can set goals with and feel comfortable to hold each other accountable on an everyday basis. Maybe the goal is 10 cold messages. You're going to message that person every day. Did you send your messages? Yes. Okay. And that person will hold you accountable. Find an accountability partner. That is developing a relationship. That's working as a team. I don't know about you guys, but if I didn't have somebody that I went to the gym with a couple times a week, I probably would go a couple times less per week, right? But I have it scheduled, and not to mention this person's going to push me while I'm there, not to just hit my goal, but to exceed it, right? Talent is a gift. Character is a choice. We get to choose our character every time we make a choice, whether it's to cop out or dig out, to bend the truth or to stand under the weight of it. Those are choices we get to make. Your character can start today. That's that's a beautiful thing. You can decide who you are today. It's that simple. So my next challenge is to write down 4 or 5 words, no less than 4 words that describe your character. Okay? No less than 4 words that describe your character. God, so many people working intently. I love it. Love it. So I don't have to know you to know that on that list, there should be unique, loving, caring, passionate, selfless, amazing, healthy, confident, powerful, independent, business person, woman, man. I don't know if we have any gentlemen with us tonight. Right? I don't have to know all of you to know that on that list, on everybody's list, I would like to think that I named one off, that you feel that way about yourself. I know that because if you weren't all of those things, you wouldn't be here with us tonight, right? You wouldn't have taken a leap, followed a leader into an opportunity where you want to love up on people, build relationships, and do everything you can to help them feel the best they've ever felt this year, right? Tonight, when we get off our call, I want you to write down 10 characteristics, excuse me, of the people that you would like to have on this journey with you. 10 characteristics that would describe the individuals on your dream team. This one's fun, right? What are some of the characteristics of people that you would like to partner with on an everyday basis, right? Or on a 3 times a week basis? What are some of the characteristics that you would like to, of a business partner, of an accountability partner, okay? So tonight, after you're done with that list, who here's made a Frank's list? Everybody made a Frank's list, a contacts list, whatever you want to call it, right? 2 calls ago, I had somebody from Nebraska actually say to me, hey, what do you do when your well runs dry? Meaning you've run out of people on your Frank's list. And I said, well, in Nebraska, when the well runs dry, we just dig a little deeper, right? So I want you to revisit that list. I'd be willing to bet that there's some people that you missed, okay? I want you to revisit that list. But tonight, I want you to take the names from the list. I want you to attach them to the characteristics that fit them best, okay? I want to then use that information as I work my Frank's list. I want to let the individual know that I'm not just calling because I have a product that's second to none or a compensation plan that's second to none. I want them to know that I want them on my team because of those characteristics. Because I would love the opportunity to partner with someone like them on a journey like this. Okay, it's just a little spin on the Frank's list, okay, to help you to break the ice with those individuals, because I don't want you to feel like you have to call them and say, hey, is now a good time? Okay, cool, I got this Plexus deal, you should really check it out, right? I want us to build the relationship. I want them to know why they're on your list, why you're picking up the phone to call them, okay? The beauty of this business is truly the relationships. I can honestly say with every bone in my body in this region right here that these leaders that we're here with tonight, and hopefully some of you sooner than later, Kimber, Shannon, Amanda, these people are friends to me. They get a little space right in here, right? That's the beauty of this business. Sometimes I have a hard time to believe that I get paid to do what I do, right? I feel like they probably have thought the same thing from time to time, right? to connect with their friends on an everyday basis, and to hang out and like brainstorm how many people can we help, right? How cool is that, right? The beauty of this business is the relationships above the product, above the compensation, the incentives, the trips, the events. Who's going to convention? Oh my. If you thought you needed your boots strapped on tight tonight, but you better get an extra pair of socks and tie them on tight, because convention is the real deal. If you're not going to convention, I would suggest trying to get on the waiting list and doing whatever you could to get there. They are, especially if you're looking for, that passion, that inspiration. This event is second to none. We're talking about 15,000 people getting together that have one common goal, which is to help everybody they come in contact with. It's an amazing time. Okay. So the beauty of this business is the relationships. Okay. Who's heard of the power of 3, right? Going silver every month. Now, I want everyone to know, I understand wholeheartedly. It's much easier for me to sit here in my living room and tell you to go silver every month than it is for you to do it. I understand that. The goal, it doesn't matter at what level. I talk to diamonds every day. You know what their goal is? To go silver. That is their goal. That has got to be the goal every single month. Hypothetically speaking, sometimes I think it's such a simple concept that we might overthink it, right, and put too much thought into it. So I just want us to remain conscious that the goal, no matter what level you're at, is to go silver every month. And because I'm a numbers guy, I know that if I started today and enrolled 3 in March, and the 4 of us enrolled 3 each in April, and the 13 of us did that again in May, then in 90 days' time, I have 40 people within my organization. So next, I want everyone to write down what $150 a month could do for you and your family. And maybe it's the difference between borrowing $50 and putting $100 in the bank. Maybe it's the difference between giving your nephew $30 for the book fair that you couldn't give him a year ago. Whatever it is, write down 1 or 2 things that you and your family could do. Maybe it's to save that over the course of a year or 18 months and take the family to Disney. Something. Write it down. What could $150 a month do for you, right? Because that's what that model that I just built. Again, easier said than done. But that's what that model that I just built is awarding families in addition to their product. Right. So even now, I also understand that attrition is real. Okay. It's the real deal. It doesn't matter what kind of business you have. If you have a taco truck, a doggy daycare, or a Plexus business, attrition is going to happen. So even in that example, if the attrition rate was 50%, which I think is super aggressive, but if it was 50%, we still have 20 people at the end of those 90 days, and you're a gold ambassador. Right. So I want us to, I stem back to the relationships being so important, because I don't want anybody to think that if they quit my Plexus team with me that we're not going to be friends, because that's truly not the case. Right. Well, I'm going to continue to love up on these people like they're a diamond ambassador underneath me, whether they are working the business or not. That's why we have the relationship in the first place. At the same time, I don't want us to stare at the reports and cry over spilled milk, so to speak. I want us to understand that attrition is real. It will happen. There is no perfect world business. And I want us to turn the page and move forward each and every month. Okay. So next I'll touch on what, in my opinion, is the number 1 contributing factor to attrition. Does anybody have a guess? Anybody? What's the number 1 contributing factor to attrition? Melissa, you Cornhusker? No? It's follow-up. Okay? It's follow-up. Right? So, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it. But what I want to remind us is that you are a CEO. Your family are the shareholders. When you set a time to follow up, it is a meeting. CEOs do not miss business meetings. They are there. Okay? Now, life's going to throw you a curveball. Send the person a message. That counts, okay? That counts. Send the person a message. Hey, I know we're scheduled to connect tonight. I can't. I got my hands full with 2 sick kids in soccer practice or whatever it is we got going on, but I wanted to follow up. How are the products treating you? Have you received your next shipment? Or do you have any questions? Whatever the case might be, is the follow-up is where, there's a reason we'll say that the saying is the fortune's in the follow-up. And that's because without follow-up, we don't have a fortune. Okay? So I want us to schedule it. I want us to love up on these people. I hear these horror stories, even from the highest ranking ambassadors that will, spend 2 years sometimes of posting and stuff, and somebody will join their team, and then I'll say, okay, awesome, great job. So what's the onboarding process like? And they're like, well, they got their welcome pack, and yeah. I'm like, what? Right? So I compare the first 30, 60, 90, 120 days of being an ambassador to the first 4 or 5 years of a child's brain development. The more understanding that we get of how important that time frame is for a child's brain to develop, the more we understand that we have to provide them with the best nutrients, with the best education, surround them with positive things, that it's an imperative time for our children, right? I feel the same way about a new ambassador. It is an imperative time. It can make or break their experience. There aren't too many ambassadors out there that join, start taking the product, and then on their very own, with no guidance, no leadership, then go on to create this huge business. It happens, but they need a partner, okay? So the follow-up is so very important, okay? In conclusion, I just want to remind us, everybody that's here tonight, that we have the opportunity to change and impact lives. I have a passion and compassion for people and their health that does not have an off switch, okay? I get so fired up from these meetings. I get so fired up from these that tonight I will have to go to the grocery store, the gym, or something. I'll have to get out of my place and wander around, right? I will go to one of those places and I'll bump into a stranger. And I promise you this will happen. This is not a sales pitch. I will bump into a stranger and I'll say, hey, how are you? And if they say anything other than amazing, I'm going to say, well, then we need to talk because I can fix that. And I'm going to introduce them to this drink that I've been taking for 30 days. And I laugh every time. You guys are laughing. I know it's funny. And I laugh at myself. But I also laugh because I picture that person going home to tell their spouse about the weirdo in the produce section that tried to sell them some pink drink, right? But so I don't have an off switch, And on the other hand, if they say they're doing amazing, I say to them, you must be taking Plexus. I'm telling you, I know it sounds funny, but you would think, if you bumped into me as a stranger, you would think I was an ambassador, without a doubt. Without a doubt. So you have that passion too. Maybe you have an off switch, but you have that passion too, right? Unfortunately, our good intentions are not enough. We can't pay bills with pats on the back. Right? Our good intentions are not going to help other people. They require action. At the beginning of this, I talked about character requiring action, right? We have got to act. I'm not asking you to act for the next 6 days, for the month of March, until convention. I'm asking you to act for your days, period, for the rest of your days in regards to that passion. I'm asking you to share it with people like you don't have an off switch, and laugh at yourself when the person turns and walks away at the produce section. I think that's funny. And I'll rebuttal it again and be like, hey, look, I'm not trying to weird you out. I'm just trying to share with you something that I believe could change your life. Right. And you'd be surprised how many people will turn around and be like, okay, so what are you talking about? You'd be really surprised. So, that is literally an approach that I take. It's why I'm in this call tonight. It's why I truly feel blessed to partner with your leaders. So I'm going to leave you with 2 quotes, okay? And one has a little story that I think could facilitate 1 or 2 more smiles before I exit out here, okay? So it is never for the sake of peace and quiet deny your own experience or convictions. Never for the sake of peace and quiet deny your own experience or convictions. So good story. Okay, so as we opened the coaching program back in October, we joined an area that is open-aired, right? And everybody understands what I mean, right? We don't have individual private offices. It's an open-aired area. There's maybe 40 of us, maybe a few more, right? Our events team, our incentives team, our recognition team, our ambassador education team, our sales team. There's a ton of us, right? Not everybody is on the phone with 170 joules, right? They're in their area doing their thing, developing the next incentive or whatever it is they have going on, right? So about a week in, I start jumping on the phone. I'm getting to know these lovely ladies here in front of us. I'm getting to know them, right? And then the coaching programs start. So like I said, like you are witnessing like a Haley's comment to have me in a chair for 30 minutes here. I'm like, I am always standing up and moving around. At my desk, I'm like wrapping people up with cords from my headset because I'm all over the place. My arms are flailing. It looks like, yeah, I don't even want to say what it looks like. I look like I'm a little crazy, a little cuckoo, okay? But so about 5 days in, I get this Post-it note on my desk, and it says, Dave, would you please sit down and not be so loud? And I thought, I am bothering people at work. My passion is bothering other people, maybe preventing them from getting their job done. And so for the next 2 days, here I am in the corner of my desk, talking quiet. I'm ducked down. I'm talking quiet. And so my boss, Sarah Bjorgard, our vice president of sales, the true difference between a mentor and a boss, she comes out to our area and she's like, hey, has anybody seen Dave? And I'm on the phone. I'm like, hold on 1 second. What? And she's like, yeah, has anybody seen Dave? I mean, I've been in my office 2 days now. I haven't seen him. I haven't heard him. What's going on? I mean, is he sick? He didn't text me, nothing. And I'm like, okay, well, I may or may not have gotten 3 complaints about how loud I am here. And she said, Dave, stand up and turn the volume up. That passion, that fire, that's why I have you on this team. It's why I would have fought for you up against any candidate. It's because of that passion. And she shared with me that quote. And I think that's what helps me to sell Slim to a stranger picking out some broccoli because they told me they were good instead of amazing. Okay? Because what that quote and what she's teaching me to do is to be myself. Is to not have an off switch because I was afraid of what somebody else might think of me on the sales room floor or in the grocery store or anywhere for that matter. I believe in this product. I believe in this company. Why should I not talk to somebody because I'm afraid of what a stranger might think of me for introducing them to something that could change their life, right? Never deny your own experience or convictions. Never for the sake of peace and quiet deny your own experience or convictions. Really powerful stuff. I mean, inspired me, and it'll stick with me forever. So the last one is a little more personal. I have my grandmother here from Omaha to spend a week with me for my birthday, which is coming up. I'm going to turn 29 again here in a couple days. So she's in town from Omaha, and she would tell me to pray as though everything's up to God, but to work as though everything's up to me. And remind me that, that I should go to sleep with a dream and wake up with a purpose, but that the big guy up there isn't going to pay my bills tomorrow. So I'm a man of faith, a strong faith, and I firmly believe in that saying. It's something that I'm going to say to myself every day, of 2017. and approach this year and attack this year like it stole something from me. So I'm really blessed to have been here, guys, and I would love to hear some questions. And just to give you forewarning, if nobody asks any questions, then I'll just call your name. Kimber?
Do I have a question?
No, I'm turning over the hosting back to you.
I was like, am I supposed to ask a question? Okay. So do you want them to ask you questions now?
Yeah, please.
Oh, okay. Okay, guys.
I may not be able to answer them, but.
Okay. Do you guys have any questions?
Hey, Dave, can you explain attrition to some of the new people that might be on this call?
Well, and by explain, you mean to define?
Define it. Some people don't understand.
Sure, yeah. No, absolutely. By attrition, I mean people quitting. I mean that, we got some Cornhuskers here. I think that we can relate, to the idea that you can lead a horse to water, right? But you can't make them drink. That's just the truth. And so as people join you on this journey, some of them are going to be because they're inquisitive about results that you've had, or that they're looking for similar results, and you cannot make them take the product on an everyday basis. And if you don't, it may not have the impact for that individual that it had for you or has for other people. I've heard so many hundreds of testimonials that are just like cry yourself to sleep testimonials that really life changing. So I mean the bottom line is that people are going to quit, and that's why I say, whether you have a taco truck or a doggy daycare, not every customer that comes to you is going to come back. It's the truth. It doesn't matter what kind of business you're in. So people are going to quit. I don't want to stop contacting them. I don't want to stop being their friend, but I do want to focus. There's a saying that it's easier to give birth than it is to raise the dead. Okay. So I don't want people quitting to get us down. I want us to remain looking forward and to, approach the day as a new day. And that's why I say the goal is to go silver every month, because even a diamond ambassador has attrition, right? So, we got to continue to grow, constant growth. Is that good?
That's good.
All right.
Who else have anything that they want to ask?
Okay, you called me out once, so you'll probably call me out again if I don't say something. So. Okay, so we all know this is a relationship business, but obviously you can't connect with all 1,500 people that's on your friends list. So when you're cold messaging these people, and is it better just to keep it simple, or you start out bringing something up off of their Facebook page or something, but then you go into Plexus? Does it seem to them like she doesn't really care, she's just wanting to talk about Plexus? So do you just keep it simple, or what do you think is better?
That's a good question. I appreciate the opportunity to weigh in on it. I think that that's on a case-by-case basis a little bit, depending on the demographic, depending on your relationship to the individual. Right now, if this is a Plexus friend that you haven't, or a Facebook friend that you haven't talked to in 10 years, I think that you could go a couple different ways with it. I think that what I'm hearing as a successful cold message right now is, hey, I know you've seen me post about Plexus. Have you tried the product? That's it, right? And people are getting really good responses. It's super non-threatening. It's not, hey, I want you to jump online with me and recruit 1,500 of your best friends. Have you tried the product? And just ask them that question. I've also, I also believe in the relationship building for the longevity of your business. As much as I want you to go silver every month, I also believe in developing the relationship. So when that person does decide to join, they have a connection to you. If there is no relationship, it's very easy to jump online and turn off your order and go into the witness protection program and never respond to another Melissa message, right? So I believe very much in the development of the relationship. With the jewels that I get the privilege to work with, we'll have one or maybe two 30-minute phone calls about ourselves that don't even touch on the business really. You know, maybe we'll touch on our why, right? Why we're doing what we're doing, or what it is we love about what we do today. But without that relationship, you know, if I was to have called Kimber and been like, hey, I'm your business coach, why don't you jump into your genealogy? I want to show you some stuff. You don't follow that person, right? So I mean, ultimately, there is no recipe, you know, straightforward answer to what you're asking. I see good results from multiple different ways. The question is that if you're going to send a 2-sentence cold message and the person responds, the question is, can you close, right? It's not, can you engage them about Plexus? The Plexus is, can you overcome the couple objections that they're going to give you, right? Which is money or, you know, shipping or whatever objection it is that they're going to come to you with. So I really think that for each and every person, it's going to work a little differently. You know, I also have a hard time, you know, and I shouldn't say that. I like social media. I like what the opportunity that it gives people to connect, especially in this capacity all across the country, to have a huge footprint, to post something visible by thousands of people. I love that. But the phone is where I live, so I have to support that and let you know that that's where a real relationship grows. You know, and so I talk to Jules on a regular basis, and I'm like, hey, you know, I identified, you know, let's say I identified 20 people within your business that have in between 50 and 99 PV. And I want you to call them. And they'll be like, you what? You want me to what? You want me to call them with my phone? And I'm like, yeah, what's wrong? And they're like, well, I'll message them. Okay, you let me know how that goes, you know. If you call that individual and you love up on them, the chances of success are far greater of creating a connection and giving that person any inkling of a reason to do business with you. People buy from people they like. Who in this area knows a car salesman that they like? Woo! What a tough crowd. One, right? All right, so here's the deal. Kimber, would you buy a car from anybody else?
No.
So now, I mean, I lean on that. Maybe it's not the best example, you know, like because nobody loves car salespeople. But you know, the truth of the matter is that if you do happen to know one that you like, you will always buy cars from that individual. It's the same with like a real estate agent, or you know, for all you know, like let's say you're driving down the road in Nebraska and you see the guy that has the sweet corn, right? He's got the sweet corn on the side of the road. And you're like, oh, well, I'm going home to cook some barbecue. I should get some ears of corn. And when you get out, if that guy leaves a lasting impression with you, you will stop at his corn stand every time moving forward. And especially, like, let him call you by name. Oh, God, watch out. You'll never buy sweet corn from anybody else, right? That's because of that relationship. And that couldn't have happened if you had messaged him over Facebook like, hey, I want some corn. What's up? Right?
Yep.
Does that help a little bit? So I want to try different things, Melissa, and I want you to keep track of, to say, you know, hey, I sent, you know, I'm going to work these 40 people on my Frank's list, right? And I'm going to send these 20 cold messages, and I'm going to take Dave's challenge, and I'm going to call these 20 people, and I'm going to commit to a 10-minute conversation. I'm going to make them say no to me at least twice before I let them off the phone. If you could commit to that and you keep track of the results, I bet it opened your eyes, because inside the comfort zone is not where great things come from.
Dave, he's already doing that challenge.
Sweet. Perfect.
And it's working.
Awesome.
The 2-liner works. I have been doing it all week.
Right. So, and like I said, like at that point, that's a real awesome door opener. It's very non-threatening. I know you've seen me post about Plexus. Have you tried the product? No, but I've been meaning to message you. Right. Sure you have. Okay. Well, let's get you started. You know, what's your address? I'll send you a sample. All right. Who else?
I have something. One of my favorite things that you said was talking about following up with customers or ambassadors where you ask them what they're using. That's one of my favorite things, and I bet a lot of people on here haven't heard that.
So what she's talking about here, guys, is the use of loaded questions, okay? And so I like to ask questions where what I'm really pulling from the answer is not what they're telling me. So the example she's talking about is, I would say, let's say I'm calling a wholesale ambassador, somebody who has in between 50 and 99 PV, and I'm giving them a call, and I don't want them to think that I'm calling them just because I care about their 5 pay points, because that's really not the case. But I want to call and love up on them and touch base with them, right? So I'd like to ask them, so tell me, Melissa, what products do you take, right? And that's just an example, Melissa, you don't have to tell me. But so what I'm really asking is, what products aren't you taking? Okay? Because when I ask you that, you're going to list off the products you take. If you asked me, I'd tell you I'm taking the Multi-Omega, the X Factor, the Probiotic, and the Slim. And it's the perfect opportunity for you to say, oh my gosh, I love those products too. I take the P96 after my gym workout, and I tell you what, the results are amazing. So what I did just now is I sold you the P96. You don't feel that way, but that's what I did. Or maybe I told you I added the Edge to my mid-afternoon routine, and that my focus after lunch has improved tenfold. My productivity's up by 17%. And they're measuring it at work, guaranteed for me, right? So my productivity has gone up because I've introduced this product to my regimen on an everyday basis. So I love to ask people that, Another example, as you're doing relationship building, I like to ask people, tell me 2 things about yourself I wouldn't read on your resume. Okay? And that question, if I was to say what I'm really asking is, tell me what's most important to you in this world. That's not what that person hears. They hear, tell me about something about you. And most of the time, what comes to their mind is going to be what's most important to them in this world. If you asked me that today, I would tell you, I have a 7-year-old little girl. Her name is Aurora. Right? And you didn't say, tell me about your daughter. You said, tell me 2 things about you I wouldn't read on your resume. But that's where my mind goes, because that's my rock. That's my number 1. Right? And so it gives me a peek into something that's unbelievably important to them without saying, hey, tell me what sounds better. Tell me 2 things about yourself I wouldn't read on your resume, or tell me what's most important to you in this life. Can you imagine asking that question to a stranger? Right? They're going to be received very differently, right? A stranger's like, okay, creepy pink drink person, please leave me alone, right? But if I ask you about, something that's not on your resume, you're just going to tell me that stuff. So I like to use those types of loaded questions where I'm asking one thing and I'm pulling something else from that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I love that, because I think with this type of thing, when you're following up with people, or especially if you're on the phone, a lot of times you have your preconceived, preset response. But with what you're doing, you have to actually listen to what they're not saying and respond from there. So I think you're even more engaged.
Right. Absolutely.
So I just love that.
Absolutely.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions or anything they'd like to ask? Hey, Anna, you can unmute if you want.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So people always post on Facebook that they have migraines, or there's a lady that I work with, and she always talks about how she has trouble going to the bathroom and stuff, but I don't know how to approach that without making it sound like I'm only benefiting my business, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You could give me some advice.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, I would revert kind of back to that never for the sake of peace and quiet kind of thought process, I know that this is a business, right? And we're here to provide some financial stability to our family, but I think that I would like to think that the common denominator amongst us is to see just how many people we can help feel better. Right? And the truth of the matter is that Mary at the office that is having some irregularity, right, is not going to benefit you very much by buying some cleanse, right? You stand to make a couple bucks off of her, so, I don't think that you should, I don't think that I don't think that you should allow your business to prevent you from sharing it with them. The fact that it would benefit you, present it to the individual that you only care about them feeling better, and that is really why, hey, I've heard you mention this a couple times. I happen to be a part of a phenomenal community of people that share a product with others that can help them. And I would love to, to introduce you to that product, because I believe with every bone in my body, it can help you feel better. Right? I don't think that, that should prevent you from, from responding, with the lady, the person at work. Do you work directly with this person? You interact with them on a regular basis, or they just are in the same building, or what?
Well, we're both cashiers, and there's another kid that always just gives me crap about multi-level marketing and stuff and all that. So I always feel I don't know if I should just pull it aside or just laugh about it, or pull her aside and talk to her about it, because she says that she takes magnesium and it helps her, which I know the BioCleanse does. But I don't want her, she's like, I don't need Plexus, it wouldn't help me. So I don't know how to approach that specifically.
Well, I guess what I would introduce this individual to, and yes, I would probably do it in somewhat of a private setting. We're talking about something a little personal here, right? But in a private setting, I'm with that individual where I would say, hey, look, I know that you've told me before that you didn't think that you would need, quote unquote, need Plexus. And I would engage the individual on the basis that we have a 60-day money-back guarantee. So if you try the product and you don't like it, then turn it back in. The truth of the matter is, everybody, we have less than a 1% return rate. Okay, less than 1% of the people that try our product return it. So I would engage the individual on the basis that you're not asking for a bunch of money. If she's out there at a GNC or something purchasing, a magnesium pill, she's not going to be spending much more money to do a little business with you. She doesn't have to, know that you're only going to make $4 off of it, right? At the end of the day, this is really just about helping her feel better. That lady could be a jewel, plain and simple. And I believe that. I believe that in every person I come in contact with, right? We got 25 people here tonight. I see 25 jewels, right? I believe that. So I think that in a private conversation that you say, hey, look, I know that you've told me that this product you didn't think was necessarily for you, but I'm so passionate about what this product does for people, and I've heard so many stories, and I've heard you struggling with this. Take a no-risk chance on a product. As far as that kid is concerned, is it a guy?
Mm-hmm.
He has no idea what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
This is the greatest industry on the face of the planet, and over 80% of women in the United States that make six figures do so from home in this business.
Okay.
The truth. Okay. So he will not be the last person, Anna, to give you some grief, right?
Right.
But and my buddies, totally, without a doubt, they're like, oh, you got a motivational speech tonight, huh? You're going to set some goals? They will tease me about it. I won't tell you what I say back to them.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course.
Thanks, Anna. Dave, we have in the chat down there, somebody sent a question. Can you see it, or do you want me to read it?
Let me see. I don't have anything in my chat.
Okay, it says, I have a question about the 50 to 100 pay point people again, just to be more specific. This is Kim O'Donnell.
Okay. You're quiet up there, Kim.
I'm muted.
I just unmuted you.
Oh, okay.
What's up, Kim?
Hey, so that intrigues me, because I went and counted while you were on. I opened another window. I have 6 people right now who are under 100 in their PV this month. So, and they're not all mine. 2 are my level 1s and then below. So as I'm coaching my people and making these phone calls, could you give me a sample call besides just, hey, what products are you taking, and wrote that down?
Yeah. So, I want to be transparent because I got 6 minutes before my next call, but no, this is perfect. And so I think, and when I challenge a jewel who, who might have 50 people that fall into this range, right, to pick up the phone, the first round is to encourage simply relationship building. And I'll tell you a quick story. We identified a jewel out of Texas that had 47 people in between 1 and 99 PV in her organization. Okay. We challenged her to pick up the phone and make relationship building phone calls. She made 47 phone calls out to those people. Never at any point did she bring up pay points, PV, Plexus. She just talked to them. Hey, how was your holiday? What did you do? Are you taking any trips? What's going on, right? If she didn't know the individual, she'd say something along the lines of, hey, I was going through our organization and I realized that I had never talked to you before. I wanted to reach out and say hello, right? And get to know the person. Is now a good time? Yes. Awesome. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell me how long have you been how long have you been an ambassador, right? And so that's really the challenge. She did that, 47 phone calls, 25 people's PV went up that month organically. Simply phone call. Now, I'm not saying that 25 people qualified, but we saw their PV rise. So the awesome thing about it too is that next month, chances are that person's going to be on that list again. And when you call them back, if you take good notes during the relationship building phone call, when you call them back, you can ask them about your last call. Hey, it's been like a month since we talked. How was San Francisco? What's Tommy's soccer team doing? What, right? Something that you learned about them. So how you're going to judge the success of that phone call is, what did I learn something about that individual? Did I make a conscious effort to grow the relationship, because like I said, that's where people spend their money, right? It's at that point, once you have a call or two, then you could begin to be influential with them. Now, if you want, I've heard success stories. I talked to a Sapphire that had some, white lines in some wholesale PV customers that literally made a push of over 200 points in the last 48 hours. And you can't do that without coming off salesy. I don't care who you are. I believe I could close anybody in the country with a name and a phone number, but you're going to have to be salesy with that, What I want you to be outside your comfort zone by picking up the phone, but I want you to be building the relationship and just understanding that 5 points this month is not going to make or break you.
Right. Okay.
Awesome. Okay, Dave, so you have a couple minutes. Is there anything you want to close with?
Gosh, no, I mean, I thank you so much for the questions and for, giving me the opportunity to see your smiles tonight. You guys have phenomenal leaders. I would love for you to weigh in with these leaders about, what you'd like our next call to be about. I talked about a few things tonight that I think we could have a 45-minute call on, right? Verbiage, follow-up, the initial conversation, relationship building. Maybe it's more personal development. Weigh in with your leaders and say, here's what I would like to see more of, right? Here's what I would like to hear from Dave on next time. And then we'll set a date and we'll get to connect again so that we can continue to see each other's smiles.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. We so appreciate you.
Love you guys. Have a good night.
Bye.
Thanks, Dave.
Bye.
Okay, so I'm so proud of you all for being on here. That was obviously not a 15-minute call. So that was a little bit longer, but I think it was well worth it. So we did record this, and I'm so proud of you. Remember, those who show up go up. And so those of you who took time to be on tonight, that makes a huge difference in your business and is going to help you every step of the way. So this will be available later. I will post it. So tag your teams that we're not on. And then Shannon and I and Amanda will probably be posting, asking, and you guys can even go in on the recording and say the things that you would specifically like him to go over, because we're already planning the next one. So thank you all for being on, and have a wonderful night.